Welcome to episode 4 of the news. I'm the man of the hour, and I know why you're here. You were here to hear me recap everything crazy, wild, and borderline stupid over the past couple weeks, and let's be honest, it's been wild. Rioters stormed the Capitol. We have a new president. No more Keystone oil pipeline. And to top it all off, it's almost Valentine's Day, even though it literally just felt like it was Christmas. But for now, I'm going to talk some politics. Joe Biden is officially the 46th President of the United States, and Kamala Harris is officially the first black woman to be Vice President. They are both faced with very important issues within the first couple months of their presidency. How can they rebound our economy? What are they going to do for small businesses? And whether or not they're actually going to prioritize things that are important. You would realistically think that vaccine distribution would be number one. You think? As now there's 3, 4 companies now with vaccines. You think vaccine distribution would be number one. But no! We're going to do another pointless impeachment walk for a guy who isn't even in office anymore. Like, come on! Barstool Sports has raised $30 million for small businesses during the pandemic through supporting one another and doing what the government has refused to do. All props to Barstool Sports, the Barstool Fund. Excellent fundraiser. Like I said, upwards of $30 million now. It's just absolutely incredible. And they've done what our government has been unable to do. And the Biden administration, their first thought is to kill jobs by shutting down the Keystone oil pipeline? And they want to inflate the economy through wanting to increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour? I'm sorry, but believe me, I'm no expert, I'm no politics expert, and I know I'm here to make fun of people rather than criticize them, and I know that Joe Biden is going to do his best job for the country in the end, but so far, it hasn't been a very promising start. But nonetheless, here are some of the most important and utterly ridiculous headlines for today. A cow who escaped slaughter in Massachusetts has been on the run for 8 months and has found a new forever home at an animal sanctuary in New Jersey. This is one of those stories that really moves me and really makes you think next time you go to a burger place. It also made all the butchers ask, "Where's the beef?" A zoo in Texas for Valentine's Day has offered visitors the opportunity to name a cockroach or a rat after their ex-lover before it is fed to a much larger and certainly lonely animal. It's honestly an excellent marketing scheme. There is no better satisfaction in the world than watching a giant tiger eating a rat named after the person who cheated on you with your way less attractive friend. An Oklahoma state representative has proposed a bill to establish a Bigfoot hunting season in the state. This honestly isn't a surprise to me. I don't think there is anything more American than mowing down a mysterious creature in the woods with an AR-15. To also provide context, whaling is also illegal in Oklahoma. Just because there is so many fucking whales in Oklahoma. An extremely rare snowy owl was spotted in New York City Central Park for the first time since 1890. It drew dozens of onlookers who were excited to see the rare avian. The reported reason the owl was this far south was because it was seeking revenge against Andrew Cuomo, who thought it was a good idea to put COVID in its nest. A woman in Toronto was given quite the sight after she looked outside in her backyard to see a squirrel holding a knife. The squirrel had picked up a paring knife she had accidentally left outside of her home. The squirrel, that she nicknamed Chris Brown, was threatening her by saying, "You think it was a good idea to give me those half-assed nuts, Karen?" The state of Texas accidentally set out an Amber Alert for the Chucky doll from the Child's Play horror movies. It was designed as a system test and was never meant to be seen by the public. My question is, what motivated you to make an Amber Alert for Chucky in the first place? You could have done anything and you chose Chucky? Was Pennywise already taken? Cujo? Jason Voorhees? Good thing no one called in a tip saying they found him, because that would be a very shitty movie plot. A lost wallet was found in the wall of a Georgia home after 66 years of it being missing. It was eventually returned to the original owner by a good Samaritan who first used all the owner's cash to bet Kansas City minus 175, and we all know what happened. Super Bowl 55 came over the weekend, and it was headlined by the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with the Weeknd with the Weeknd being stuck inside a glass room for 15 minutes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you obviously didn't watch the halftime show. Through the spectacle that is the Super Bowl, we expected to be able to sit down and watch a football game and not be reminded by mainstream culture about the ongoing pandemic we've been living through for the past year. They did many things right by thanking healthcare workers and making sure they got their recognition for their hard work over the past year. But they sort of acted like this whole COVID pandemic thing was new. You had to watch 45 minutes of commercials and promos about COVID before you could even watch the game, and really none of them were about wearing masks and staying 6 feet apart. It was big-name stars and players telling us that we have to unite through the trying times we're in, which, don't get me wrong, is true, but thank you for stating the obvious. We should have been united from the get-go. Just because it's a new year doesn't mean that all these people who caused the divide magically get to think that they are now better by saying we have to unite now. It's like stealing, blaming someone else, and saying, why is the crime rate so high? It just makes no sense. But I digress. The only things to really take away from this Super Bowl is that A, Tom Brady is still the greatest of all time, hands down, undisputed. And B, I thought the Weeknd would have been better. That'll do it for this episode of the news. Stay tuned, for I have big news about my next project coming shortly, and I hope to come back with all the news you didn't need to know very soon. Thank you for watching. This has been the news.